Hello, dear students. Today we are going to see an important chapter in biopharmaceutics, that is pharmacokinetics. In this chapter, we are going to see what is the definition and introduction to pharmacokinetics, compartment models, non-compartment models, and physiological models. Now, before moving towards the compartment models or pharmacokinetic models, let's take a brief account of pharmacokinetics. Now, the duration of drug therapy ranges from a single dose in case of acute condition to a drugs taken lifelong as in case of chronic condition. The frequency of administration of drug in a particular dose is called as dosage regimen. Depending on the therapeutic objective to be attained, the dosage regimen is decided. And thus, in order to achieve the therapeutic success, knowledge is needed not only of mechanisms of absorption, distribution mechanism, metabolism, and excretion, but also of the kinetics of these processes, which is the pharmacokinetics. Now, these are the basic definitions which come under the term pharmacokinetics. That is, the first is pharmacokinetics, which is the kinetics of drug absorption, distribution, metabolism, and excretion, and their relationship with the pharmacological, therapeutic, or toxicological response. Second is absorption, which is defined as the process of movement of unchanged drug from the site of administration to systemic circulation. Distribution, it is reversible transfer of drug between the blood and the extravascular fluids and tissue. Elimination, it is the process of removal of drug from the body and termination of its action. It occurs by two processes, biotransformation and excretion. Now, what is metabolism? It is defined as the chemical conversion of drug from one form to another. Excretion, it is defined as the process whereby drugs and other metabolites are reversibly transferred from internal to external environment. Now, there are two aspects of pharmacokinetic studies, theoretical aspect and experimental aspect. In theoretical aspect, it involves application of pharmacokinetic models to predict drug disposition after its administration and use of statistical methods to assess various parameters. Second is experimental aspect of pharmacokinetic studies, which involves development of analytical methods for measuring the drug concentration in biological samples, data collection and evaluation. Other relevant terms include clinical pharmacokinetics, which is defined as the application of pharmacokinetic principles in safe and effective management of individual patient. Population pharmacokinetics, it is defined as the application of pharmacokinetic principles to study pharmacokinetic differences of drugs in various population groups. Toxicokinetics, application of pharmacokinetic principles to design, conduct, and interpret various toxicological studies. Now, plasma drug concentration time profile. Now, a typical plasma drug concentration time profile can be obtained by measuring concentration of drug in plasma samples taken at various time interval after administration of a dosage form and plotting concentration of drug on y-axis versus corresponding time and x-axis. A typical plasma drug concentration time profile, it provides two categories of parameters, that is pharmacokinetic parameters and pharmacodynamic parameters. Now, this is a typical plasma drug concentration time profile when the dose of a drug is taken orally. Now in this, the Cmax, Tmax and AUC are the pharmacokinetic parameters and rest all are the pharmacodynamic parameters. We'll see one by one. Peak plasma concentration, that is the Cmax. It depends on administered dose, rate of absorption, and rate of elimination. Then time of peak concentration, Tmax, and AUC, that is area under the curve. Pharmacodynamic parameters include minimum effective concentration, maximum safe concentration, onset of action, onset time, duration, intensity, therapeutic range, and therapeutic index. First, we'll see pharmacokinetic parameters. These parameters are useful in assessing the bioavailability of drug from its formulation. First is peak plasma concentration, that is Cmax, the point at which there is maximum concentration of drug in plasma. Then time of peak concentration, that is Tmax, time for the drug to reach the peak concentration in plasma after extravascular administration. What is extravascular? It is despite of IV route. Useful in estimating onset of action and rate of absorption. It is also important in assessing the efficacy of single dose drug used to treat acute conditions like pain and insomnia. Area under the curve, it represents total integrated area under the plasma level time profile and expresses the total amount of drug that comes into the systemic circulation after its administration. It helps to represent extent of absorption, that is, it helps in evaluating the bioavailability of drug from its dosage form. It is important for drug administered repeatedly for the treatment of chronic conditions. Pharmacodynamic parameters. First is minimum effective concentration, that is minimum concentration of drug required to produce a therapeutic effect. Concentration below MEC, it is known as subtherapeutic level. In case of antibiotics, minimum effective concentration is known as minimum inhibitory concentration or MIC. Then maximum safe concentration, that is MSC, concentration in plasma above which adverse or unwanted effects are precipitated. Concentration above MSC is known as toxic level. Onset time, time required to start producing a pharmacological response. Onset of action, the beginning of pharmacological response. It occurs when plasma drug concentration just exceeds the required MEC. Duration of action, the time period for which the plasma concentration of drug remains above the MEC level. Intensity of action, the minimum pharmacologic response produced by peak plasma concentration of drug. Therapeutic range, the drug concentration between MEC and MSC. And therapeutic index is what? The ratio of maximum safe concentration to minimum effective concentration. So this was regarding the plasma drug concentration profile and basic terms used in pharmacokinetics. Now we'll move towards the important part of the chapter, that is mathematical analysis of pharmacokinetic data. Now the different methods are used to analyze pharmacokinetic data. First is model approach and model independent approach. Model approach, they are divided into three parts: compartment model, physiological model, and distributed parameter model. Compartment model is further divided into two types: mammillary model and catenary model. Physiological model is divided into two types: perfusion limited model and diffusion limited model. Model independent approach, it is also known as non-compartmental analysis. Now we'll study pharmacokinetic model approach. Now in this approach, models are used to describe changes in drug concentration with time. So what is a model? It is a hypothesis that employs mathematical terms to concisely describe the quantitative relationship. And pharmacokinetic models are what that are the hypothetical structures that are used to describe the fate of drug in biological system following its administration. A compartment is what? Compartment is a group of tissues with similar blood flow and drug affinity. It is not a real physiologic or anatomic region. What is the application of pharmacokinetic model? It helps in characterizing the behavior of drug in patient, predicting the concentration of drug in various body fluid, predicting multiple dose concentration curve from single dose experiment, calculating the optimum dosage regimen for individual patient, evaluating the risk of toxicity, correlating plasma drug concentration with pharmacological response, evaluating the bioequivalence or bioinequivalence between different formulations of the same drug, estimating the possibility of drug or metabolite accumulation in the body, determining the influence of altered physiology on drug ADME, and explaining drug interaction. Now, types of pharmacokinetic models: compartment models, physiological model, and distributed parameter models, out of which compartment model is an empirical model and the rest two are the realistic model. Empirical means a hypothetical model. Compartmental models, it is the most traditional and commonly used approach for the pharmacokinetic analysis of a drug. The model simply interpolate the experimental data and allow an empirical formula to estimate the drug concentration with time. The body is divided into hypothetical compartments, as the name suggests, arranged in either series or parallel to each other, communicating with each other. These compartments are not real but are virtual and is considered as tissue or group of tissues that have similar drug distribution characteristics, that is similar blood flow and affinity. So depending whether the compartments are arranged in parallel or series, compartment models are divided into two categories: mammillary model and catenary model. Now compartment are hypothetical in nature. Compartment models are based on such certain assumptions. That is, the body, very first is what? The body is represented as a series of compartment, either arranged in series or parallel to each other. Each compartment is not a real physiological or anatomic region but is a fictitious or virtual one. This assumption is necessary. Why? Because if each and every organ is expressed as a compartment, it can lead to the formation of infinite number of compartment, and mathematical description of such a model will be complex. Then third is, within each compartment the drug is considered to be rapidly and uniformly distributed. Then the drug follows first order kinetics only, then and only then you can apply this model. And rate constant are used to represent the rate of entry and exit from the compartment. Advantages of compartment model: simple and flexible approach, gives visual representation of the ADME of a drug, possible to derive equations. One can estimate the amount of drug in any compartment. Important in development of dosage regimen. Drug data comparison can be done between the two drugs. Useful in predicting plasma drug concentration profile both in normal conditions as well as in pathological conditions. And you can it helps in monitoring drug concentration change with time with a very limited amount of data. Disadvantage: drug given by IV route may behave according to single compartment model, but the same drug when it is given by oral route may show two compartment behavior. So the compartment model behavior changes with the route of administration. Extensive efforts are required to design an exact model that correctly predicts the ADME of a drug. The model may vary within a study population, and difficulties arise when we are comparing the results from human and animal experiment, and data fitting is required. We'll see the first type of compartment model, that is mammillary model. In this, the compartment are connected parallel to one another. That is, in any compartment model, there is one central compartment and peripheral compartment. The central compartment has very high vascularity and high perfusion, like lungs, livers, and kidneys. Elimination mostly occurs through these compartments only, and central compartment is always denoted by 1. In contrast to that, peripheral compartments have low vascularity and poor perfusion, and they're denoted by numbers 2, 3, 4. And drugs are considered to follow first order kinetics, as I have already told. So if I am writing rate constant as K12, what does it denote? It denote the drug movement from compartment 1 to compartment 2. Okay, or you can say from central compartment to one of the peripheral compartment. Number of rate constant which will appear in a particular compartment model is given by R. That how many rate constant will be there. For IV, the formula for a number of rate constant is R is equal to 2n minus 1, and for extravascular compartment R is equal to 2n, where n is the number of compartment. For this you can see IV administration. So this is the IV administration. Number of compartment is 1. So 2 into 1 minus 1, that is for IV administration, the rate constant is 1 only. So in this model you can see only one rate constant is there. But in case of extravascular administration, the rate constant, number of rate constant is 2n, where n is the number of compartments. So we'll see the second case. Here the compartment is 1. So you can say 2n will be 2 into 1. So you can see here there are 2 rate constant. Okay. So similarly they have calculated. Now there is one concept, open and closed model. Now what is this open? Open means administered drug dose is removed from the body by an excretory mechanism. And so that is the open model. And if the drug is not removed from the body, then the model is referred to as closed model. So mostly open model is only there, okay, because drug is removed from the body. So first is one compartment open model, IV administration. Then one compartment open model extravascular administration, that is other than IV. The drug first goes into that part, then comes into the blood, and then it is removed. Two compartment open model IV administration. In this IV case, you can see directly the drug goes into the blood. So there is no inward arrow in this case. Okay. So two compartment and open model. Then two compartment open model extravascular administration. Again you can see two compartment is there and there is one arrow. Then three compartment open model, three compartments are there and again it is IV, no arrow is there. And last is three compartment open model extravascular administration. In this case also you have to show three compartments and one inward arrow. Okay. So this was regarding the mammillary model in which compartments are arranged in parallel. In case of catenary model, the compartments are joined in series. This model is not used at all. It is very rarely used. See, the compartments are arranged in series no matter what. Okay, so this was regarding the compartment model. Next is physiological model. These are also known as physiologically based pharmacokinetic models, which are also the realistic models. So these are drawn on the basis of known anatomic and physiological data and thus present a more realistic picture of drug disposition in various organs and tissues. The number of compartments to be included in model depends on the disposition characteristics of a drug. Organs with similar perfusion are grouped in a single compartment. So lungs, liver, brain and kidney, which are the highly perfused organs, those are known as the rapidly equilibrating tissues, while muscles and adipose tissues are known as the slowly equilibrating tissues. Organs or tissues such as bones that have no drug penetration are excluded from this model. So this is a typical, you can say, uh, physiological model of a drug, and number of compartments depends on the drug disposition characteristic of that particular drug. So term Q indicates rate of blood flow. HPT means highly perfused tissue. PPT means poorly perfused tissue. And KM are first order rate constant for hepatic elimination and urinary excretion. Advantages: mathematical approach is straightforward as compared to compartment modeling. The model is suitable if tissue drug concentration and binding is known of the drug. The model gives exact description of plasma drug concentration time profile. Data fitting is not required. Easy to explain ADME mechanism of a drug because directly we are correlating it with the physiology. The influence of altered physiology or pathology on drug disposition can be easily predicted as compared to compartment modeling. Disadvantage is what? Obtaining experimental data is a very exhaustive process. Now there are two types of physiological model: blood flow rate limited model, which is applicable to highly membrane permeable drugs, and uh, it is based on the assumption that drug movement within a body is much more rapid than its delivery to that region by perfusing blood. So either, as they are highly membrane permeable, their drug movement is more fast as compared to its delivery by blood. So it's applicable only to highly membrane permeable drugs, that is low molecular weight, poorly ionized and highly lipophilic drug, for example thiopental and lidocaine. Membrane permeation rate limited model, these are more complex and applicable only to highly polar, ionized and charged drugs in which cell membrane acts as a barrier for the drug that gradually permeates by diffusion. These models are therefore called diffusion limited models. So these are the two types of physiological model. And third is distributed parameter model. It is analogous to physiological model, but it is specifically useful in finding out regional differences in drug concentration in tumor and necrotic tissues. So Difference between the compartment modeling and physiological model. This is the hypothetical approach. It is realistic approach. Experimentally simple. It is very exhaustive. That is experimentally difficult. It is most oftenly used model. It is less commonly used owing to its complexity. Complex mathematical treatment is here. Your mathematical treatment is straightforward. Data fitting is required in this case. Data fitting is not necessary in this case. Used when there is very little information about the tissues. Used when tissue drug concentration and binding are known. Extrapolation of animal data to humans is not possible. And here, as it is a physiological model, you can extrapolate animal data to human. ADME mechanism cannot be explained. It is more easy to explain ADME mechanism using physiological model. Frequently used for data comparison of various drugs, it is less commonly used for data comparison. Effect of pathological conditions on ADME cannot be determined, and you can accurately determine the effect of pathological conditions on drug ADME. Now we'll move towards the last part, that is the non-compartmental analysis. It is also known as model independent method, does not require the assumption of any compartment model. It is based on the assumption that drug metabolites follow linear kinetics, or you can say first order kinetics. So on that basis you can apply it to any compartment model. This is based on the statistical moments theory, which involves collection of experimental data following a single dose of drug. So if one considers time course of drug concentration in plasma as a statistical distribution curve, then mean residence time is ratio of AUMC, that is area under the first moment curve, divided by area under the zero moment curve. Now what is this mean residence time? That is the average amount of time spent by the drug in the body before being eliminated. What is AUMC? It is obtained by plot of product of plasma drug concentration and time, that is CT versus T, and it is given by this. AUC is obtained by plotting concentration versus time. Both AUC and AUMC can be calculated using trapezoidal rule. What is that? It involves dividing the curve into by a series of vertical lines into a number of trapezoids and calculating separately the area of each trapezoid and adding them together. So with the help of this trapezoidal rule, you can easily determine the AUC and AUMC, and based on that you can determine the mean residence time. What is the application of this? It is used to estimate important pharmacokinetic parameters like bioavailability, clearance, and volume of distribution. It is also useful in determining the half-life and first order absorption rate constant of drug. Advantages: ease of derivation of pharmacokinetic parameters. Same mathematical treatment can be applied to almost any drug or metabolite provided they follow first order kinetics. And for this reason, you do not require the drug disposition characteristics information. Disadvantage is what? Limited, it provides limited information about the plasma drug concentration profile, and it does not treat non-linear cases. That is the major disadvantage. What if the drug do not follow first order kinetics? In that case, we cannot use this non-compartmental analysis. So with this, we have completed the basic model approach, or various models or various techniques used for determining the pharmacokinetic parameters. Thank you for listening.